James nearly hits Mary with his car. She is understandably annoyed. He offers her a ride, but she declines, planning to walk to Silent Hill. James insists on watching to make sure she doesn't fall. Finally, Mary relents and accepts the ride. They load her luggage into James' car. They drive off, the atmosphere growing ominous as the music swells. Inside a bar, James gets drunk and aggressive, starting a brawl. He's thrown out, then gets a call from M, who urges him to get sober for their appointment. He heads home as a storm rages. Inside, tormented, he sees visions. A ghostly Mary begs him to return to their special place. Then, driven by the message, James starts his car. But where is he going? James drives through the storm, haunted by Mary's memory. He arrives at their abandoned, dilapidated hometown. Nostalgia washes over him, but something feels wrong. A woman startles him, handing over bags of ashes from the fires. She reveals the floods contaminated the water, likely driving everyone away. James is undeterred, still desperate to find Mary. The woman pauses. Will she help him? Angela gives James a lead. Flashing back, James suggests to Mary they move in together, but she hesitates, hinting at hidden depths. Back in the present, James finds a disturbing room filled with buzzing flies. Footsteps echo. He calls out, finding only a playing radio. The music grows louder as James explores. He discovers a snoring man. Is this another clue? The snoring man awakens, ranting about returning darkness. James calls M, who warns him to stay away from Mary and Silent Hill. A siren wails. James enters a surreal nightclub scene with Mary. The townsfolk ominously discuss Mary's father and how he shaped their lives. A creature attacks outside. An emergency broadcast orders immediate evacuation. What awaits James amidst the chaos? James navigates the town's twisted corridors. Unseen creatures shriek nearby as he struggles through, rats swarming. He presses on, ignoring the squelching sounds. Then, a vision of Mary beckons. She welcomes him with open arms and kisses. This reunion feels staged, too perfect. Footsteps echo. Is it real or another trap? A door creaks open, revealing a room with a buzzing TV. What awaits inside? James answers a ringing phone, a pained voice begging for help, speaking of her. The line cuts. He tries calling out, but gets a voicemail. Another call reveals someone monitoring James. Inside, winged creatures attack. James finds an eerie room as chanting echoes. Mary appears, surrounded by people. They claim to be her family. James is disturbed. Mary pleads, wanting intimacy with James. But something's clearly very wrong. James hears coughing and encounters Eddie at the hospital, who claims the town is a cemetery. Eddie reveals bodies. They hear a baby and find Laura trapped behind bars. James coaxes Laura out, but a radio squawk reveals James's sickness. A monster approaches. Eddie flees as James frees Laura. Pyramid Head appears. What will James do? James calls out for Mary in the dark. Something unseen retreats. A creature growls nearby, and James strains against a boarded-up door. Spiders swarm him. He slams a closet shut. Footsteps approach. James plunges his sword into Pyramid Head, but it's ineffective. He punches wildly. Pyramid Head advances. An alarm blares, and they both scream. What does this mean for James's survival? James hears voices and finds Angela, who warns of hell. A baby cries, leading him to Laura on a high ledge. She says Mary gave her a doll. Suddenly, Laura spots a monster and flees. James gives chase. He then meets Maria, who questions his relationship with Mary. Maria agrees to help find Mary. The radio crackles, signaling danger. They run as a creature screeches. Will they escape? James and Maria hide from a creature and watch it melt something with acid. They navigate through a grimy, gated area. James finds a hospital record, but everything is dead. Maria questions James's relationship with Mary, wondering how long it's been. She suggests Mary could be in trouble, unsettling James. Maria abruptly leaves to stretch her legs, leaving James alone. What is she hiding? James finds a recording implicating Mary with a religious cult led by Joshua Crane. The tape reveals Mary's been drugged and manipulated. Suddenly, blood rains down. Maria urges James to flee as the hospital warps and cracks. They desperately search for an escape route. Grotesque creatures attack. They dive into an elevator, barely dodging a falling skull. But the growling monsters are closing in. Are they safe? Inside the elevator, James tends to Maria's wound as blood splatters. Maria eerily claims she resembles Mary. James insists Maria stays put, promising to find Mary. He confronts Laura, demanding Mary's location. Laura rambles about the sad baby and accuses James of abandoning Mary. She shrieks, creating a ringing sound. Laura urges him to hurry. James chases after her, finding only an empty room. Growls echo nearby. Is it a trap? Suddenly, Laura's shrieks trigger a bizarre hospital scene. James awakens restrained, a doctor asking if he's okay. A woman claims to know where Mary is, saying James must let go because Mary is dead. Flashback, Mary urges James to pack. Back in the present, James recalls monsters tearing a girl apart. Maria appears, saying this is James' last chance. But James calls her scared, prompting Mary to scream and demand he call her disgusting. James remembers leaving with Mary. A doctor discusses James's trauma, revealing Mary died after their breakup, which James refuses to accept. The doctor tries to help, but James retreats. Sinister music swells as alarms blare and the hospital cracks apart. Maria appears, wanting to leave together, but James hesitates, noting Maria looks just like Mary. Maria kisses him, offering to stay together, just the two of them. But what will James decide? Maria begs James to stay, but he ignores her pleas and boards a plummeting elevator. Maria vanishes as the elevator crashes. James finds himself in a bloody, industrial hellscape. Maria reappears, urging him to turn back, but James declares Mary isn't dead to him. He rejects Maria, who dissolves into a bloody mess. James continues deeper, now wading through a flooded passage amidst roaring flames. But what horrors await him? James enters a fiery room and encounters Laura, who taunts him about remembering Mary. He struggles to recall Mary's full name. Angela appears, distraught and tormented. She begs James for help to escape her tormentor. James then sees a monstrous figure he calls Mary. He apologizes before it shrieks and lunges. James chases after someone resembling Mary through more fiery passages. But who is he really pursuing? A radio voice urges James to let Mary go. She's been dead for months. He then finds Mary, who says her father poisoned her. She asks James to help her lie down. Glass breaks, and Mary cryptically asks James to free her from the man inside. Sobbing, James seems to grant her wish. Suddenly, wings beat as the ground crumbles beneath them. What creature emerges from the depths? James declares he's ready, determined not to let go this time. A doctor calls out to him. Suddenly, he's back in Silent Hill, coughing. He meets Mary, who apologizes. They find a suitcase, but the latch is broken. Just then, Mary's bus arrives. After a brief struggle with the suitcase, he misses it. He asks Mary where she was headed and says he'll help fix her ruined day. Is James truly back, or is this another cruel illusion? James meets Mary, who introduces herself. They get in a car and drive off. Dreamy music begins as they ride. Suddenly, they're driving through Silent Hill's streets. Haunting music plays as James remembers a letter to my future self. Lyrics about happiness and facing sad times fill the air. The song ends. What memories has James unlocked? What will he find?